Deary, deary me, this is not a good look for Binance. Oh man, so Binance have just admitted to co-mingling customer funds. What is going on? This is the world's biggest crypto exchange by volume. Many people, including myself, made numerous videos trying to explain that we shouldn't put any given exchange on a pedestal, and this latest revelation that they were co-mingling funds is quite a shocker. I'm going to break down exactly what happened, what this means, because this is not a good look. Smash up likes, don't forget to subscribe if you appreciate this emergency update. And the headline broke that Binance admits reserve tokens were mistakenly commingled with user funds. Oh, mistakenly commingled with user funds. Now, let me put some perspective into this, guys, before I go into explaining it, because it's a little bit complicated, but this is the extent of what we're talking about. $539 million in B tokens. I'm going to explain exactly what B tokens are as well, but that is the breakdown of what was mixed in a wallet called the Binance 8 wallet, which also had customer funds. So let's go ahead and understand the difference between the two. So when you buy cryptocurrency on an exchange, let's say you buy a bunch of Bitcoin and Ethereum, the exchange has to hold that 1-for-1. They cannot go and use that elsewhere like we saw with FTX and Alameda, okay? They have to hold that 1-to-1. That is what is called user funds. Now, the issue here, which is what we're talking about, arises to B tokens, also known as PEG tokens. PEG tokens are similar to like wrap token. In essence, they lock up one, let's say, Ethereum, and they give you an Ethereum on the Binance Smart Chain, a BEP20 token, to reflect that. Now, in order to back that BEP20 token, the BEP20 version of Ethereum, they've got to hold your real Ethereum somewhere, because you're giving them Ethereum, they're giving you this BEP20 version of Ethereum, they need to hold it in reserve somewhere. Okay, 1-for-1. Now, it turns out what was actually happening was they were mixing all of this into one pot. If you imagine that user funds, okay, so all of your user funds equated to, let's, for argument's sake, keep easy numbers, say $1 billion on Binance, okay? So they may back that and say, yep, we've not touched it. That's $1 billion sitting in a wallet, okay? Now, what they could also then do is, over here, they've got their BEP tokens. That's their PEG tokens, their B tokens. Now, with their B tokens, what we need to understand is if they are saying they have, let's say, 1 million in B tokens, okay, which they've minted these tokens, they should be holding the equivalent $1 million here. But let's say they don't. Let's say, for argument's sake, they only hold, let's say, 100K here. Okay, what they actually did was they put this in there to have one set of buckets. So when they showed it, they're showing that they have ample reserves, when reality is they're using this 1 billion to show that they've got the reserves for the $1 million in BEP tokens that they've minted. If you've made it this far into the video and you someday want to be able to read the markets, do technical analysis, trade as we are doing on this channel, then perhaps you may want to check out my free technical analysis from scratch course over on Skillshare. For those who aren't familiar, Skillshare is an online education platform. You sign up for a nominal amount each month and you get access to a wide variety of different courses. I personally use it to learn all sorts of things, from video editing to financial to using Excel and various other bits and pieces that you may want to learn. It's far better than YouTube on those elements, because on YouTube everything is about retention, whereas with a course you can put things in a structured curriculum, and that is exactly what I've done with my TA course. It's completely free for the first 30 days if you click the link in the description, ijaz.uk/TA, to take advantage of the TA course. Let me know what you think about it, and let's get back into this video. And this is a major concern, because we know the whole narrative, particularly after the FTX collapse, is proof of reserves. And everybody has been shouting from the rooftop, and no less than CZ, right? CZ was one of the proponents to say, let's do proof of reserves. And it made sense, right? Because he was on the defensive. Everybody was attacking centralized exchanges, and rightfully so. And he said, okay, we'll go ahead and do proof of reserves. But how did that go, guys? Remember when we covered off this? Auditing firm Mazars pulls his work for crypto clients. Remember, they asked for an accounting firm, Mazars. They didn't ask for a big one, right? And we covered off CZ's CNBC interview, right, where he was really struggling to answer some basic questions.
We want to set the golden standard for reliability, solidness in this space.
So do it. Would you be able to handle it if somebody asked you for $2.1 billion?
But audits don't reveal every problem. So,
no, but an audit from a Big Four auditor would reveal that, CZ. If you could get a Big Four auditor to say that, if you're saying that some of them don't want to work with you, that raises questions too. They don't want to work with you because you don't have the files and the data that would make them feel comfortable signing off and giving that stamp of approval.
And this is where things start to get really interesting. So the journalist here, she from Squawk, I don't know her name, but she's really starting to dial in on the fact that why haven't you had an audit? And particularly, why haven't you had an audit from a Big Four accounting firm? And this is one of the things I took exception to, because the proof of reserves was done by an accounting firm called Mazars. And I had various issues when we were looking into this. Why would you not just go with one of the Big Four, over-index on transparency like we're saying, and put to dust any of the speculation and concerns we're having here? It's not difficult for you to pay a top 4 accountancy firm unless there's something nefarious going on, unless you've got something to hide, or if those Big Four accounting firms don't want to do it. So they asked for Mazars to do a piece of work around proof of reserves. But remember, they didn't do a full audit. They didn't do a full audit around financial conditions, around risk management, or any of that. What they did was agreed upon principles. They had a scope of a bit of work where they basically asked Mazars, can you confirm we have this much in this wallet? Can you confirm you can see this much in this wallet? Basic stuff that an intern can do. Now, interestingly, after all that kickback, this came out where Mazars says we're going to stop doing work for crypto clients. We don't want that smoke. You lot are a mess. You're asking us to do a small piece of lousy work, which is not a full audit. We're not going to risk our reputation for you. We don't know what you're doing over in your exchange. And if your exchange collapses, that puts our name at risk. And accounting firms are all about protecting their name. And this was a major red flag for me. And I did post this. And look, guys, I'm not a Binance bear. I think they've done fantastic. I think they've done really well to get out of the liquidity trap that they may or may not have been in. I think CZ has been a good poster boy. I think he's done really well in a time when other exchanges have really visibly been struggling. But for him to say that he's not felt it at all, I mean, I feel like that's a little bit too much. I mean, at the peak of it, CZ's, almost going out and saying, I'm going to buy this company, but none of them have really gone through, have they? So does he really have the cash there? Who knows? Maybe he does. I hope he does. But one thing is for sure, I've continued to share with all the people watching these videos, do not keep your money on centralized exchanges. I hope CZ continues to prove people wrong. I hope the company does really well. I hope it's the biggest exchange and continues to be the biggest exchange. I have no issues around that. But from our perspective, if there's a little bit of smoke, why are we taking the risk? Take the money off exchanges. What have we learned from FTX? What have we learned from Celsius, BlockFi, Voyager? Right? What have we learned anything? Or are we just going to sit behind Twitter profiles and say, oh my God, CZ's the man, we love Binance, oh my God, safe food. We don't need to show loyalty to these exchanges. What loyalty do they show to us? When they run into liquidity issues, what loyalty are they going to show to you? What loyalty is FTX shown to you? What loyalty is Celsius owe to you? Nothing. So if they file for bankruptcy one day, they don't care about you. You're a name on a spreadsheet to them. So why are you so vehemently defending these exchanges? I don't know. I don't work for Binance. I don't have access to their data, nor do you. All we had was this piece of work that Mazars did, which was agreed upon principles, and then they went and stopped doing work for crypto clients. So in essence, we've got no visibility. So to defend an exchange with no visibility when we've seen that the theme throughout 2022 was centralized failures. And what have I kept on saying, guys? It was interesting because I was reading a report by Pantera Capital, one of the biggest funds in the crypto space, and they were giving the outlook for 2023. We're going to go through that with course members tomorrow. But it was interesting because one of the points they mentioned was that a lot of the failings are coming from traditional finance. And I've been saying that throughout 2022. Anyone who's been watching this content, I've been in traditional finance. I know the exact things that happened during the 2008 financial crisis. Therefore, I know how crypto and blockchain technology and Web3 can provide a solution to that. It can be the antithesis to the failings of traditional finance. But not if we come across and do the same shoddy practices. And if you're going to convince me that he really made a mistake and he really accidentally put the backing for these peg tokens in with user funds and it was just an innocent mistake, I mean, come on, give me a break. $500 million worth of innocent mistake. How, like that's wrong. And especially at a time when FTX collapsed and you saw there was so much scrutiny, surely you went through your wallet, surely you went through your books just to tidy it up because you know there's heightened awareness around this. So there you have it, guys. That's my view on the emergency news breaking that Binance admit to admit to putting user funds in the wrong place, right? They should not be mixing those funds. That is a co-mingling of funds. As far as I'm concerned, user funds should be separate. If you deposit into Binance, that should be in a wallet, never touched, never leveraged, never used as collateral, and definitely not mixed with the collateral that should be used for minting peg tokens. Not acceptable, and we should have answers, but we won't get any, right? It's just gonna be the Binance army coming out to defend Binance. Look, I hope this all settles. Binance should be in a much better position now that Bitcoin's not in 15,000 territory, it's at the 23,000. That makes a huge difference for liquidity. Hopefully we've seen the end of that bear market. We can get some sideways activity and work our way to the next phase of the crypto cycle. But it's an important lesson for us to take note anyway. Hope you guys enjoyed. Smash all the likes. Don't forget to watch my video from earlier today for the Bitcoin price action. And I'll see you in the next one.